Yo, Spec Will here with a fire tank build. What? This fire tank build I feel like is the best that I've come across. And I've only been fired for about 4 or 5 weeks now, maybe tops. Or actually the week before Bob dropped, so take this video the week before Bob dropped, whatever, cool. This is what I've gotten so far for a loadout, specs. I know my spec is correct. My loadout is very like, if you can rock it, you can rock it. But I make sure I put in the proper things for y'all to make sure you know you can rock it in. You most likely would never die with this loadout. I'm just keeping it real with you. Your group may die, as I'll put up a video of me and CT, and then what was that? Machine Elite, I think it was. Yeah, Machine or Hive, whatever one, the one with Terra at the end. And yeah, that was a very interesting way to die. But yeah, I'll put up those videos as part 2, but this is gonna be part 1, the Spec, the loadout, and all my white mods, because those are actually the most important part. So to start out with, let me just speak on what fire really is. Fire is now a heal back tank, where they take out the mechanics from that were in fire and they just left them in rage, which is the more ads you have around you on fire, or the more enemies you have around you on fire, the more health you get. Now it's with defense, so that's called Fire Soul, just to point that out. So just take a quick peek here. 69,000, blah blah blah. Put these before me. Hold on, man, I just gotta go away while they're still on fire, and you get just like that. Now it stops at 5, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is at this point. I'm not really sweating it. I think they'll just end up revamping this once again in like probably a year and a half. But as of right now, this is what I've gotten for fire. So which I don't have one right now, is a breakout trinket, but I would strongly suggest y'all get a breakout trinket, because it is breakout trinket. So start the white mod sockets for weapon. I use the shield just because, you know, it's the basic, it's the meta. I think honestly with time keeping going forward, I might change it out to either the power or just leave it at that one, because I already do enough healing as is. I don't need the extra healing. The head, use internal flame for the supercharge. I'll show you guys why in a second. Keep going along. Fortified assault, this is perfect because you're not going to be doing, you're only going to block just to block break. Besides that, you're going to keep your powers rolling because you only have one power that's a what's the word I'm looking for, a passive heal versus a active heal, and I'll show you why that is. Keep going through. Stoke flames, the 10% cooldown, but that's kind of gonna be up to you. Breakout regeneration, I think, is the other one. I want to try it out and I just haven't gotten around to it. So there's that. The chest mod Hartley, everyone needs that. This one you can pick whichever 3 you want, but none of them are gonna be on there, and I'm gonna tell you why Fireball won't be on there in a second. But keep going through. The hands mod, this is the #1 most important mod on here. It's empowered channeling. I'll show you guys why empowered channeling is the best moving forward. And at the bottom of it, it says it increases defense and toughness by 5% while active. That is very important to highlight right there, because that will be added on to everything else. The shoes, the feet mods are Tumbling Master is the 2nd most important. All the other ones, this is the 3rd most important in my opinion, but all the other ones, yeah, that's just it. 1, 2, 3. If you can roll away without getting knocked down, trust me, you'd be doing a lot better for yourself. The drink, you want to get that as high as you can. I keep screwing up and not buying these beautiful little things right here, Seals of Preservation, so I started buying them now. And I'm also just getting back into the game as well too, so I have a lot of catching up to do. These manacles, ooh, these are the worst artifact, I feel, in my opinion. Gemini works really well, to keep it real with you guys, and so does the pulling one. I forgot the name of it, but the Iron Gemini and the pulling one both could be replaced with this one. I'm just saying. That's all. It works very well with it. And if you can continuously pop supercharge over and over and over again, like some healers do with electricity and the rifle, you will be a-okay. Everyman prototype, this one and the symbols of the 7, these two go very, very hand in hand together. As you can see, you get defense added on, or like conversion from max health to defense, and you can see that conversion actually really matters a lot. And with fire, your health fluctuates so much that it just you'll just see it like go up and down, up and down, up and down. But the health range bonuses that come with it are just crazy good. Then this one right here, you're going to be pulling a lot of ads because a lot of people still think, oh, you gain health when you're with fire. No, that's only rage mechanic now. So fire soul is fire soul, but you work with what you got. So this right here gives you more defense as you go along. And then that third part on the symbols of the 7, actually it's the last one. The healing is actually pretty good. Actually, it's very good when you're rolling through higher stuff. So this is one of the ones I kind of need to focus on, but I'm not because I'm focusing on this one more. Don't ask me why. And this is just a waste of my time, low key. But moving on to the stats. This is my defense base, my health. We're not modding in health, and I'll show you why later. My restoration this is why restoration matters a lot, because your healing is 30% of your base healing multiplier is 30%, and then your dominance is 25%. That makes up your healing, and then your shield is 112.5% restoration, and plus 150% of your dominance. So that's going to make up your shield health. And then same thing with dominance. They just tell you what else is good for. But dominance, you'll see why and how we mod into dominance exactly as we go through. But this is very interesting to mod into, and I'm also going to respec for you guys too, so you know exactly what to mod into. And so also a very huge important part of this so 1 out of every 4 of your heals are going to have a crit to it. That's beautiful. That one, you want to keep your heals rolling as fast as possible, so that way when you do crit, it's hopefully on a big heal. And yes, and then 105% curling magnitude. That's just beautiful. So then moving on to the loadout. Actually, let's go reset our traits first. Still in combat. That's cool, I guess. So a few more things to add on to it. If you have a breakout trinket, that would be really good for you, because the breakout trinket will keep you alive during other things. And when you're just get knocked down, you just need to break out again, just pop that breakout trinket and you'll be straight. Besides that, not too much is too crazy about it. One thing to also highlight is that your heals sometimes can get overridden by a healer, and that's why you have your passive heals will get pushed out of the way, but your active heals will not. So your active heals would be your pull and the other thing I have on there that I'm going to tell you guys about. So just to reset these skill points. So just with my gear alone, those are these weak stats that I have. I don't know, that was actually higher than I thought, but there it is right there for you. So then when we go to traits, first things first, actually, I'll get my weapon out the way because I tend to forget all the time, and you don't want to do that. So this is what I have for weapon. I'm also going to get one-handed because I need to change weapons. And then for acrobatics, this is quite important. So you go here and get one of these 3, it really doesn't matter. And then you want to get all of these. All of these allow you to be more or less to knock down and stuns and all that other stuff. And then from there, you want to go to iconics, and then you just want to look at it because you ain't getting shit out of there. So then after that, you go to stats points, and you need to do hybrid for this because you get your 5% dominance, restoration, and everything else just doesn't matter. So max that out, and then you're left with 270. So in reality, you don't want to just sit here and max that out. But what I do is I'll just put in about 100. Actually, we'll do dominance first, and instead of what I did before, I'm actually going to cut down on a few. So I'll do 115 in dom, and the rest in resto, and that'll allow what I need for it to be. So moving forward, these are the stats redone. Not really too much different about it. And so yeah, this is just about it. Now the loadout is very important. So you will not need a single taunt with this loadout. As cool as that is, it's also kind of lame because it's not like you always got to switch and go here and there. It's literally just one build for almost everything. And you can see why almost. So you have immolation, which is your shield. Now this shield is not the same as the other one. It's not like gemstone shield where you break it up or any other shields actually. This only absorbs 35% of the damage in. That sucks. I don't know why they did that for fire, but whatever. Don't want to speak on it. It is what it is at this point. Next is a pull, backdraft. This is another one of those active heals I was telling you guys about, where if you do damage, you get damage, or you get heals back in. This is one of those quick, fast heals. This also is pretty high on the healing in what I've seen so far. So the heal, you do damage, you do heal, it's pretty much instant. This is absorb heat. This is almost your bread and butter for this whole loadout, but this is what heals you the best, the most, and the quickest, rather than every single one of these other moves. This absorb heat, once it does a hit, it heals you, and so on and so forth, but those hits come in very rapidly. Burnout, this is just your group breakout. You can replace this with the engulf, or if you really want to and you just want to have as many heals as you can have coming in, burning determination, you can just throw in there and you can just see what it does. Yeah, I don't have it in there for a reason, so if that helps. Stoke flames is stoke flames. This is your bread and butter actually for the rest of the whole loadout. This is what you hit before you hit anything else because it will heal higher and it will make sure these other moves proc higher as well. So as you can see right here with absorb heat on the tank roll, it says decrease damage dealt but increases total healing. The same is for this one right here, but since this is a DOT and it's over time, it actually increases everything else's healing, which is very cool. So usually my backdraft will hit for like 15k, next thing you know it hits for like 22k or 24k, just as an example, and so on and so forth. But this absorb heat, I've seen this thing crit for 44k crits, 46k crits, and it's just, it crits so high so fast, you're already back at full health practically. So this, and then last but not least, internal flame. Now the reason I have internal flame on here is because practically about 12 seconds of knockdown resistance and everything else, you can't get controlled or nothing like that when you pop this. So if you pop this and then you just pop, let's say this absorb heat, you'll be at full health on the first hit of this absorb heat or this backdraft. If you're like at 60%, 33% health, you gotta pop a little bit more powers, but you'll still get up there. If a boss or as or something's hitting you, you just pop right back up there. But this will bring you back to life. The reason I don't use reignition is because I've seen some horrible numbers kind of reignition. I just sit there and I'm just like, I give it tries time after time, but it's one heal, one time. That's all. That sucks. Now the heal can hit for like 100k, but Once 100k, if it goes up and then right back down, your health is right back where you started at. Versus this, and let's say there's like 44k's a tick or 35k's a tick. That's 12 ticks for 35,000. That's beautiful. So another thing to highlight is like when you're in the boss room and you're sitting there and you're upset because you can't get aggro out from a tank, and or like you don't want to like replace this with fireball. You really don't need to. You just pop this power and it's gonna pull them right away. It's quite weird, and I don't know, like a lot of people know about this, but this works almost just as good as this, simply because this has an overtime damage as well. And so it's very weird, but you can still pull bosses out with absorb heat. Also depends on your dominance compared to the other tank dominance and DOTs and everything else like that. But just saying, it does work quite well. Immolation is just the shield and so on and so forth. So a lot of times what I have issues with, and also something to highlight, let me go get to an ad or two. Give me a second. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Oh. But when you have Fire Soul popped and Manacles of the 7 and the Hands mod, you will see your defense just skyrocket so high. And then once every man prototype kicks in and you know your health is dropping, because your health is just going to fluctuate. That's just the way it's going to be with fire. That's a no-brainer. But when your health is going up and down, up and down, up and down, you're just like, ooh, am I gonna survive? Because you know you got the other passive heal on there. But with, oops, didn't mean to pop that. But with this absorb heat, this heals so nicely. It is just ridiculous. And I guess I could put up this video of me taking on Metahuman one-on-one. I got him down to half health simply because of absorb heat. I was just popping absorb heat and internal flame, or not internal flame, absorb heat and I forgot the name of this other power. And stoke flames. There we go. So looking at my defense right off the bat, 69,000 still. Pop it. I did not go through. Hold on. That goes off. Give me a second. Let me redo this. And then now. Interesting. Okay. Wait for manacles to go off, and it should be hard. There it is. Was not popping for some reason before, but this is with 3 ads. It stops at 5 fire soul. Now pay attention to that, and now pay attention to this. It fluctuates. I mean, absorb heat just went out, but it was at 88k without them damaging me. I can pop it again. But all these defenses, 91k, all these defenses stacked up on each other, and then next thing you know, you have every man prototype coming in, your health is just fluctuating up and down. You get some nice defense coming in, and that is beautiful. So there's the loadout and the specs and how to really roll the mechanics. Really is just the 1 and 2, just this and this. You can keep them on fire. You know, fire soul runs out, you pop that. It's just those two. Also to highlight, there is a small window of knockdown when you're popping this, your absorb heat, right after, right there. You need to either pop immolation or burn out, because you would get knocked down immediately, and that's just the way it is once you're done popping that power. But yeah, hope you guys liked the video, and I'll pop up part 2 as soon as I can.